In this video, we're going to talk about what are coterminal angles. So coterminal angles, think of it as angles that terminates on the same side, meaning they share the same terminal side. So you can say that they share same terminal side, meaning wherever the two angle ends, they end up right on top of each other. You can think of it that way informally. So for instance, so say on the XY plane, we draw an angle from standard position, meaning you start from positive x-axis, and then you can either go clockwise or counterclockwise. So just to keep things positive, let's take a look at 45 degree. So let's suppose this is the angle 45 degree from standard position. So we went counterclockwise. Now, if I were to draw a coterminal angle, meaning I can go around one revolution, which is 360 degree, and I end up on the same terminal side. So this is the terminal side for 45 degree, because that's where the 45 degree ends. So if we go around one cycle from standard position, so that's 360 degree, and then we go a little bit more, 45, and we end up on the same terminal side. So that angle is coterminal with 45 degree. So what is that angle? Well, this angle we did was we took 45 and we went around one revolution, which is 360. That is equal to, so we do 45 plus 360, that's about 405 degree. So 45 and 405 have the same terminal side, so therefore they're coterminal. Now let's go around another cycle. So instead of going one revolution, now we can go two revolutions. So start from standard position. So we go around once, and then we go around again, and then we end up where 45 degree is. So we went around 360 degree twice. So we did 45 plus 360, but we went around two times. So that's 720. So what is that going to be? Well, we did 45 plus 720, that gave us about 765. So that's two cycles of 360, but still have the same terminal side. Therefore, 765 degree is also coterminal with 45. Now, we don't always have to go in the positive direction. We can also go negative direction, meaning clockwise. So if I were to find a negative coterminal with 45, again, I will start from the standard position, positive x-axis, and then go clockwise, and then end up at where 45 degree is. So what I have done is I take 45 degree and I subtracted now 360 degree. So we have 45 minus 360, which gave us negative 315 degree. So that is also coterminal with 45 degree. And then we can go negative one more cycle, so that will be negative 720. That's two cycles. So all of those angles are coterminal with 45. And there are many more angles you can find. Just keep going around 360 times 2 times 3 times 4 and so on. Okay, so now that we have some sort of understanding of what a coterminal angle is, let's do a couple more examples. So here we have a measure of 120 degree, and we want to find two positive and two negative coterminal with 120. So if you want, you can draw a picture and then just keep going around in a circle, but I'm just gonna add 360 one cycle and two cycle, positive and negative, to get the coterminal angles. So for two positive, we're going to add 360 to it. So we have 120 plus 360. So that will give us the first positive coterminal. And then we take again 120 plus another cycle of 360. So that'll be 360 times 2. So 2 cycles, which is 720. So that's one way to do it. So let's find out what these angles are. So 120 plus 360 gives us 480 degree. And then if I do 120 plus 360 times 2, that will be 840 degree. So these two are positive coterminal with 120. Now you could have also gotten this angle by simply taking this value, 480, and just go one cycle of 360. So you can just add 360 to it, and that would give you 840. So there are two ways to find the second cycle, but if you just keep adding 360 to the result you get more coterminal angles. Now let's find two negative coterminal with 120 degree. So for the two negative, we're going to subtract one cycle of 360, and then for the second one, we'll do two cycle of 360. So 120 minus 360, and then you can either take the result or take your initial angle and subtract two cycles of 360. That'll give you the second negative coterminal. So if I do 120 minus 360, that would be about negative 240. And then if you minus 360 from that, that would give you 600 degree negative. So these are the two negative coterminal angles with 120 degree. Okay, now let's do ones that has a radian measure, not degree. So the idea is the same. You're going to add 360, but 360 is equivalent to 2 pi. So you're going to add one cycle of 2 pi, and then for the second coterminal, you'll be adding 4 pi, because that's 2 cycle of 2 pi, which is 4 pi. So for the positive angle, we're going to take 3 pi over 4 plus 2 pi. That's first one. And then for the second one, we're going to add 3 pi over 4 plus 2 cycles of 2 pi. So that's 4 pi. So those are the two coterminal angles that are positive. So if I put them in common denominator, my result happens to be, so the first one will be 11 pi over 4. And then the second one is going to be, so we have 16 pi plus 3, that'll be 19 pi over 4. So these are the two positive coterminal with 3 pi over 4. Now for the negative, we're going to subtract 2 pi, and then for the second, we do negative 4 pi. So we take 3 pi over 4, take away one cycle of 2 pi, and then for the second coterminal, we do 3 pi over 4 minus 4 pi. And then we combine these by using common denominators. So the first one, we do 3 pi minus 8 pi, that'll be minus 5 pi over 4. So that's the first negative coterminal. And the second negative coterminal, we get 3 pi minus 16 pi, which is negative 13 pi over 4. So these are the four coterminal angles with 3 pi over 4. All right, now what if you're given angle measure and you want to determine if any of these are coterminal to the given angle? So the idea is the same. When you do the difference between the angles, you should get the multiple of 360 degree. Or you can take the angle that's given to you and just add or subtract 360 to see if it gives you any of these angles. Or you can draw a picture and see if they have the same terminal side. So to test out the first one, if negative 200 degrees coterminal with 145, well, we can simply just take their difference. So we can do 145 degree minus negative 200. So that just means you're adding 200. So 145 plus 200, that's 345. Well, that's not a multiple of 360, so this is not coterminal with 145 degree. Now what about 90 degree? So let's test. So we take 145 and take their difference. We can tell it's definitely not, because 145 minus 90, that will be about 55 degree. That's not a multiple of 360, so not coterminal. Now the last one, 505. So if I do the difference, 145 minus 505, what do I have? So let's say, I think this is going to be 360. Yep. So this would be negative 360 degree. So it is a multiple of 360 negative. That's fine. So yes, this is coterminal with 145 degree. At 505 and 145 are coterminal angles. Okay, so that will be the conclusion.